So for those of you listening and those of you here in the room, Nahko has played a really significant role in my life because he has come to me at 2 points at which there was some significant challenges going on in my life and in the lives of those I love. And one of those is the car accident that I got in. I was coming here to do a podcast with Nahko at the office, noon in the middle of the day, and I passed out behind the wheel. I slammed into a guardrail. The guardrail cut through my car, split my face open, and I woke up in the hospital. And obviously I didn't get to tell you, hey man, sorry I wasn't going to make it. But fortunately, Ian had my back and let you know that I wasn't going to make it. And really the first thing I remember was them asking me who I wanted to call. And I said, well, I got to call Whitney. And I remember getting on the phone and saying, sorry, babe. I'm sorry. Because I didn't know what happened. And I didn't know why it happened. But I have faith that it happened for a reason. And we didn't get to do the podcast that day. But you got to come over to the house as soon as I got out of the hospital and play for myself and all of those around me who love me. And that was the start of the healing journey, a journey that will continue to unfold for the rest of my life and provide lessons, provide the opportunity for me to appreciate life. And yeah, sometimes I'll forget, man. Sometimes I'll forget the things that I learned, like how good it is to taste food. Man, it's fucking good to taste food and to be able to kiss somebody, be able to feel my face, to be able to be alive in the way that we are. And so many more lessons that have unfolded. But that's not the first time you came in a situation where life was hanging in the balance. The very first time was the first time I was exposed to your music. And that was one of the big mistakes that I've made in my life. And that happened when I had, a while back, I had an iboga experience. And iboga is a psychedelic from Africa, one of the strongest psychedelics known to man. And it acts on multiple different pathways in the brain. And it's a long 24-hour experience. And it's traditionally done by the Bwiti tribe. And I was able to work with the Bwiti shaman. And I had a really revolutionary psychedelic experience. Extremely hard. It's one of the most painful and challenging experiences that you can encounter. I mean, full 24 hours, your heart rate's at 100. It feels like you're chained up to a high voltage shed. You're nauseous the whole time. But the clarity that I received in that experience was magnificent. And I was with Whitney, and we were young in our relationship then, maybe 2 years in. And I was excited. I was excited for her to have that experience. I just wanted her to have that, right? Because I had something great and I wanted her to have that. So I really encouraged her. I didn't just ask divinity. I didn't ask my higher self if this was right. I didn't have her ask her higher self. I was just like, come on. I was holding her hand tight. And I was like, come on, you got to do this. So we got a shaman's apprentice to come and offer iboga at our house. And he didn't know how strong his iboga was at all. And so he dosed me with what he said was a microdose. And he dosed her with what he said was a flood dose, which was 4 times the dose that I took. Because he thought this medicine was like holy water, right? Like a little bit of holy water is good, but you know what's better than a little bit of holy water? A lot of holy water. All the holy water. Might as well swim in it, right? And he was of that mindset. But that's not the case. Everything becomes poison at a certain dose, no matter what the medicine is. It could be sex medicine. It could be weed medicine. It could be fucking water medicine. Everything becomes poison at a certain dose. And so on my microdose, I was in another full flood dose. And I was having my own experience. And I was giving her the space because that is the conventional wisdom. But she was in an overdose. Full overdose of iboga. And that lasted for 3 days.
Damn.
She didn't sleep. 3 days. And during that time, as she was hanging on, I had to reconcile not only somebody that I loved, that I drug into this situation, really, truthfully. I mean, she was willing. She said yes, but I was holding her hand tight, right? So it was my own feelings of guilt. What the fuck did you just do, man? Like, what the fuck? And then anger towards the provider. All of these things that I was experiencing. And then she was actually dealing with that experience. And I was up with her, doing the best I could. Like, do you want to take a bath, babe? Can I wipe you down? What can I do? What can I do? Like crying, just crying. I would just leave the room. I'd try to hold it together. It's like, try to hold it together. You'll be all right, babe. You'll be all right. But then I'd leave the room and just fucking cry. Because I felt so bad. And it was like one of those experiences where, you know, you learn that you can't lead anybody. You can't pull anybody into these things. You have to ask and you have to know, and you have to trust that knowing that comes from getting out of the fucking way and not thinking and not trying to push something on somebody, not trying to get somebody to do something because you had a good experience, but just allowing. But in that experience, you know, I think for Whitney, for the first time, it was so bad. It was so hard that she's often said that if there was a button that she could push that just said, just end it, she would push that button. She'd gone back to source, where there wasn't that pain and there wasn't that nausea and there wasn't that suffering. She would have pushed it. But that gentle rage of love was still inside her, and so she didn't push the button. The gentle rage of the sun that helps the acorn sprout up through the grass and become a tree, that gentle rage inside all of us of love. She wasn't ready yet, and I'm thankful that she wasn't. But that moment was one of the most transformational moments, and where you come in is the provider for all of his inexperience, for all of his poor judgment, for all of the things, and me as well. He played your Aloha Keakua song to the music video. And it's one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard, and one of the most beautiful pieces of footage that they put to that. And I'm sure you've seen it before.
Once or
twice. And that there is the reminder that we should live. It's the reminder, like, fuck, this life is good. Like the animals and the plants and the people and love and your words and your songs. And so 2 moments where our lives were close to blinking out, you were there, man. You were there to remind myself, remind Whitney, that's fucking worth it. It's worth it to live. It's fucking worth it to have this experience. For all the suffering, for all the pain, for all the challenge that we might experience, it's fucking worth it. So from my heart, man, from the deepest place, I just want to thank you, man.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And here is Nahko, everybody.
I want to hear your version of that sometime. Whoa. Heavy medicine.
Heavy medicine.
Yeah.
A medicine that's stuck with us. And this, as the accident will stick with me, as that moment will stick with her. And as, you know, your songs and your music and these things, when you open yourself up, you didn't know that.
Hell no.
Hell no. Even when you were coming to Austin, you didn't know you were going to be playing for a man with a broken face who almost died fucking 12 hours, but it didn't matter. You didn't know. But to be able, when you get out of the way and you open yourself up to that, you don't know what it's going to do. You don't know what that smile that you give to somebody or that hug you give to somebody or that thing you say. You know, like we've had so many people who've killed themselves, who've decided to push that button that says, no more. Mm-hmm. And all their friends are always like, fuck, I should have reached out to him. Like, fuck, I should have done something, you know? And we don't know, we never know. But if we can be love and like push that love out in whatever form that is, for you it's music and everything else you do. For me, it might be words. For some of us, it might just be fucking hugs. You know, it might be something. But we don't know exactly where or how that's going to be. And I think that's also another important lesson, not only as the receiver, but as the provider, because we're all artists. We can all create something, and we just don't know when it's going to land and how it's going to land.
Were you pretty cautious the next time you guys sat?
Fuck yeah. Pretty cautious, to say the least. But that was the lesson that, and we've got little reminder lessons of that, like little reminder things that happen. I remember one time with this guy, Kyle, over here. You know the medicine Hape?
Mm-hmm.
So that's not very dangerous, but it's also really fucking rough.
Yeah.
So that's like snorted tobacco, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're having a great night. Everybody's partying. We're having just the best
great thing
time.
to do at the end of the party, for sure.
Exactly, right? Exactly, right? And these fucking... and there's a couple like fucking hard-charging yahoos who are like, let's do Hape. I was like, that's a terrible idea. And so I was like, I'm not going to do it. But everybody did it. And guess what happened? Projectile vomiting and crying all over the house. Yes. I was like, you motherfuckers. It's not the right time. But there's a lesson always for that, right? Like,
what was it?
Well, fuck. I mean,
not the right time.
The right time is the right intention when you're called to it. Not when it's on a fucking dare. Not when it's when you're dragging somebody with you. Not when it's like, let's do this to show that we can. Like, these are medicines. Like, have respect for the medicines.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something too, like we're on the verge of MDMA legalization as well, right? And like, that is a hella fun recreational drug. But when you start experimenting and experiencing it as a medicine, then you can get a little different respect.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean you never do it recreationally, but it means like, all right, let's have a little respect for this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a little respect for the potential of what this could be. And I think that's the important message to the world, because all of these things, marijuana, psilocybin, MDMA, iboga, Hape, it doesn't fucking matter. It's medicine only if you treat it as medicine. Otherwise, it can be an addiction. Otherwise, it can be an escape. Otherwise, it can be something that's downright fucking dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So respect it.
Right, and we need people to guide us through those things, which even when you do find somebody to guide you, there still could be some things that happen that you're like, oh my God.
No doubt.
But
no doubt.
We need guides too, right? We need people to show us some of the ways to use it.
Mm-hmm.
You hearing that frequency? It's kind of sort of feedback, echoey stuff. Anyway.
That's the thing. Like, I can imagine, like, if you went to do ayahuasca and you didn't trust the person you was providing it, because that's going to bring up that kind of moment where you think you're going to die anyways. But if you had that fear, like, oh, I might actually die because this person fucking doesn't know what they're doing, I can only imagine how challenging that fucking experience would be. Like, imagine if that was real. Like, you're like, hey, they're just figuring it out. They're trying to brood some shit in the back. Hell no. Hell no. Don't do that. Like, be with the people who are the doctors of spirit, the psychic surgeons, who know what's going on in these situations, so that give yourself the best chance. But nonetheless, like, it is fucking psychic surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Like, shit can get squirrely. You could get the fucking sutures sewn up inside. You get like the fucking tongs and stuff sewn up inside your chest cavity. Like, that happens in actual surgery. Like, shit can fucking happen. Oh, we fixed it. Good job, audio techs. But yeah, you have to recognize that no matter what, it's probably going to call out some of your own fears and
it's
some of your own stuff.
Something.
It's going to do something. But to have the respect, because the benefits can be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a path of challenge.
It's a miracle, actually, the way that I recall my first psychedelic journey as well, where like, I didn't have any teachers or anybody to like say, this is how you're supposed to use this. Perhaps these are certain ways. I like got to Alaska when I was 18 years old, had just left to like homeschool life, like had horrible people skills, didn't know anything about, I hadn't even tasted alcohol at that point. And when I got to Alaska...
Does that mean you just shot it down like so straight,
yeah, well, I
so
bathed
hard?
in it. I bathed in it. Yeah, I was taking baths in whiskey, so... But I didn't know it was like something you could drink. It was like washing my armpits with it. It was
just needles.
Yeah, mostly.
Just needle drugs right from the start.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
So, then I bought my first bag of mushrooms because it was, in a bag. And I asked my roommate in Alaska. We're in the middle of fucking nowhere, you know, in like central Alaska in this place.
Yeah.
And I was like, how much do I eat? And he's like, the whole bag. So there I am with my little notebook, and it starts to rain, and I'm like, this guy, God is crying. And I was just like, okay, yeah, okay. And he was like, maybe you should go for a walk. And I was like, yeah, a walk, a bike ride? I'll get on my bike. So then I go for this bike ride, and I get into the forest, and the mushrooms are just like, go down the trail. And the bees are like, wow. And then I run into, and then there's this old lady on this path, and all of a sudden there's a lady there, and she's like, stop. And I was like, she's a gatekeeper. And I stopped, and then I said, you know, my eyes are like, and she said, do moose attack?
What?
I was like, hello to you too. And then I heard the voice of the bus driver that I had just gotten off of like the other day, and he's like, be careful of moose. They're more dangerous than bears are up here because they'll just run at you. And I was like, I don't know, but I want to pick. And I had my disposable camera, you know, as you do. And I like saw the moose, and she's up there, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to go take a pic from my mom because she cares.
Yeah.
So I walk up to the moose, and then she starts running at me. I snap the pic. Love you, Mom. And then I start to pee my pants because, you know, it's like there's this moose running at me, and I'm seeing my whole life flash before my eyes. And there's just these little spruce trees, you know, there's nowhere to hide. So me and this old lady were just like kind of backing up. And I was like, I'm looking at her like, I guess this is it. This is going to be cool. Nice to see you. You have no idea how high I am right now. This is amazing. And I just like, you know, and then the moose like does, 10 feet, you know, and does the snowboard turn, you know, and all this dust comes up.
It sprayed you.
Yeah, like she sprayed me.
Yeah.
And then she kind of like just like walks off. Meanwhile, you know, there's a little drip. little drip.
Yeah.
Little bear drip coming down the side. I'm like shaking like this. I'm like, wow, that was a rush. You know, she's just like, bye, and like walking away. But you know, there's multiple stories like that in my life that needless to say, I've tended to go pretty hard on things. I've been hard on many things in my life, including myself, and with psychedelics. I remember actually the rest of that trip was amazing. I mean, that was amazing too. But I remember sitting on top of this hill and looking down at all the trees. And it was like that first moment of realizing I was going through a deconstruction, and and fully deconstructing this colonized mentality, this like conditioning that what we've all been in, but that I was fully recognizing that this was my moment. It was like this is the time it begins. And needless to say, I ate a lot of mushrooms that summer.
Yeah. Well, that's the traditional vision quest, right? Like it was.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was going to happen.
You didn't know,
like I literally walked into it.
Vision
it was
quest.
like, and now you will sit on the hill. You know, and there's still pee in my pants. You know, it was like, this is sacred.
So many of us have had that experience. I was fortunate enough that I got to have my vision quest guided.
Did you pee your pants too?
No, because it was curated, right?
Time.
Like, I mean, I've definitely peed my pants in multiple experiences.
When he's like, yeah.
Yeah. Pee isn't the only thing that's gone off in my pants. Anyway. At a few of these. But fundamentally, like that piece of that piece of our culture, that piece of indigenous culture, that piece of traditional culture, you don't always need psychedelics, but psychedelics, especially for us who have layered so many piles of delusion, we're in like concentric bubbles upon bubbles upon bubbles of delusion and pressure and things. And to be able to burst through that and make that first connection with source and first connection with yourself. I mean, people think of source and you think like, oh, let's look out there. Well, you can look out there. You can look in here. Same, you know, but to make that first real raw connection is so life-changing. And it's just been kind of pushed to the side of our current culture. And that's a shame because like, if you haven't tasted it, really fucking tasted it ever before, how are you going to find your way back? Like, how are you ever going to know that that's really there? Like, how are you going to really feel it? Maybe you can think about it. You can read some Rumi. You can talk about the great beloved and, wow, that's a beautiful poem. But until you felt the great beloved, like felt it in the fucking fronds of the trees and the succulents and the fuzz on them and the dirt and
the little ants in the ground. There's so many of them. They're so cool.
Many. And they're fucking
Or my
acting,
hands. Whoa.
They're acting perfectly, right? That moment. Mm-hmm. That's one of my first moments. Actually, like the very first memory I have was like holding my arm up and going like, wow, I have hands.
That's what you're doing. I met you, though.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Same thing. But you know what's funny? Like, that's the same thing I say when if I do 5-MeO DMT. It's the same thing. It's going, wow, literally. Like there's some people there who are shaking their head in the audience who are like, yeah. It's like, oh, wow. But how would I know that shit? You're going to talk about God because you read some old dusty book about it? Or are you going to talk about God and sing about God because you fucking felt it? You felt it. And like, whatever way that is, to like feel it, you got to feel it. You got to be in your cells. You got to know it is your cells. You got to know it's like, it's deep. It's in the place where the laughter comes from. Like that's where you find that divinity. And I think one of the lyrics from one of your songs, which is great, is, talking about wanting to talk to God more often and tie reminders to your fingers. Right? Because like once you've been there, then it becomes more of a choice to connect to that part of ourselves, a choice to connect to our own divinity.
And you want to be in it all the time.
Yeah, but we can, but we'll choose not to. We'll still choose the delusions. We'll still choose those other different avenues of self-doubt and stress and perplexity.
Destructive behavior.
Exactly. Or the accumulation of power. The ego will rise up and say, I want more. Give me more lovers. Give me more money. Give me more prestige. Give me more. Or you can just observe that and be like, oh, but I've touched something else which doesn't need more because it's infinite and you couldn't possibly add more because it's all. And if it's all and it's infinite, then what the fuck does even more mean? Right? And then but unless you felt that, like how are you going to calibrate yourself when everybody else is talking to the ego? And that's, I think, the way that the planet needs to shift. It's the way we have to shift by providing ways that people can touch it and taste it and feel it.
Common languages,
common experiences, so that this becomes one tribe and we've all gone through these same rituals.
Have we?
I don't know. A lot of us here have. Probably a lot of people listening have.
Hey. Cool. So where are we at?
I don't know. Why don't you bless us with some music, bro?
Do we need some more people in that? Probably, huh?
Probably.
All creatures great and small. Okay, I'll sing a song. And speaking of... I need to tune this a little bit. That was a great speech, by the way. That was a good speech.
Hey, thanks, dog.
That was good. I was there with you. We were all there.
Wide awake, and I don't know why it's taking me so long to embrace. And I think I'm singing at a frequency that's messing up these speakers. Oh my god. Like the song I was singing sitting on my bedroom floor. Or the reason, the things that open the core. It's the simple truth that one day I will die. Or the courage it takes for a warrior to cry. Yahweh, well, you can certainly shake me, but no can break me, nah. Yeah, you can certainly shake me, but no can break me, nah. I am buzzing in beauty and feasting on honey, alright. I am buzzing in beauty and feasting on honey, alright. I believe in the good things coming. I believe in the good things coming. Out of darkness, lying out, bumping. Into white light, old things running. Who have I been? Who am I becoming? Coming. Deep breaths for a young man, learning. Take a walk with the cedars humming, cityscaping, sunset stunning. Every empty space is filling, every fire kindled burning. I believe in the good things coming. I believe in the good things coming. Said, I am no master, I know nothing. There you go. I am no master, I know nothing. But I am a servant and I know something, yeah. I am no master, I know nothing. Definitely still young. Built on hunger, so fucking stubborn. A lot of self-work undone. I am a witness to the life of one who carries out the secrets in the music. Oh. More pages, more words to my story. More grace, more meaning unfolding. More grace, more meaning unfolding. More grace, more meaning unfolding. Take a drive, green for Cascadia. Feel the warmth of my cold eye radiating. 2 shakes and I'm feeling weightless. Heartaches, but it's actually painless. Take a vow in the pale moonlight, 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 moonlight. Take a look at myself through my third eye, third eye, third eye, third eye, third eye. Everything's already alright, always alright, always alright. Black as the night, I'm black as the night. Black as the night, I'm black as the night. Black as the night with a little bit of moonlight. Black as the night with a little bit of moonlight. Black as the night with a little bit of moonlight, yeah, yeah. Black as the night with a little bit of moonlight shining from my center within. Sharp obsidian, smooth to the touch. I'm a dark little cinnamon man, spot on my makeup. And never mind the nap news, always gonna wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. You got the keys, yeah, you got the keys. You got the keys, yeah, you got the keys. You got the keys, but I'll never keep my door locked. You got the keys, but I'll never keep my door locked. You got the keys, but I'll never keep my door locked. No, no. You got the keys, but I'll never keep my door locked. You can always come right in. And if my arms are full, you can bet your sweet ass I will drop that shit right then. I might be busy, but I always got some time to surrender to your beauty, 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 beauty. Oh no. Love, my brothers, love. Draw your strength up from above. For how you love, it's what you are. Wise in the ways, in the ways, in the ways of the man by far, by far, by far. Wise in the ways, in the ways, in the ways of the man by far, by far, by far. Wise in the ways, in the ways, in the ways, that's what you are. That's what you are, that's what you are. Birth, my sisters, birth. Draw your strength up from the earth. For how you birth, it's what you are. Wise in the ways, in the ways, in the ways of the woman by far, by far, by far. Wise in the ways, in the ways, in the ways of the woman by far, by far, by far. Wise in the ways, in the ways, in the ways, that's what you are. Oh, all right. Can you tune it up? Yeah. It's okay?
It's fucking great, man. It's fucking
Thank you.
great, man.
Thank you. All right.
You know what comes through so much, man, is this fucking perspective. Perspective. Like think of everybody, please think of those times when shit has been really fucked up.
Like all the time.
Like when you think things are really fucked up, and then you just get this cool breeze of perspective. And then it's like,
Cool breeze, man.
it's not so fucked up.
Or you're just
Perspective.
or you can accept it.
Or you can accept it. But accepting it is in its way, knowing that you're the one who can accept it, that is your perspective, right? Like that this too will pass. That this is what you're here for. You're tossed into polarity for this experience. This is what will help you grow. This happened for you, not to you. All these things that are perspective that help you accept and surrender to the experience that you're currently having. But it all requires perspective. And listening to your songs is like those bumpers. It's like we're all trying to fucking bowl, but we keep rolling gutter balls. But then you hear songs or wisdom or guidance or nature or connection. And all of a sudden that ball that we're trying to roll into the gutter, as soon as we have that perspective, it bounces off and we're like, oh, we're heading straight for the pins as we always were. Hey, it's important shit. Perspective.
Play this song and it was in reference to perspective as well, but it's also in reference to were you saying putting it down? Were you saying putting it down?
Sure. Yeah.
Earlier you were saying something about putting down weight and things like this.
You got to shed all of those dead bodies that we carry around of our past and our future expectations and all of these things, these stories we tell us. All of these are like stuff in a backpack, a rucksack full of fucking rocks and fucking snarls and thorns and tangles and brambles, and we carry it with us all the time like it's fucking important, like we need our personal history to establish who we are, and we'll just keep packing the bag fuller and fuller and fuller until we're a monstrosity like the moose that'll charge at anybody because we're fucking so big and freaked out. Or you put it down. Yeah, you put it down. Just be.
You want to go on tour? We'll just do this. You talk and I'll... I feel like I don't have anything else to say after he talks. I'm like, word? Next song. Aubrey and Bear, 2020, Higher Vision.
Dear brother, when you gonna call back your mother? Thinks you're sleeping in the gutter. We both know you can do better. And when you gonna write your older brother a letter? Hey man, I miss you, getting my shit together. And for the record, I wrote this note as a reminder. Hermano mío, there's a future you can believe in. Gonna take more than songs of justice and freedom. Yeah. Yeah. There's a future you can believe in. Gonna take more than songs of justice and freedom. Freedom, yeah. If you're thinking about leaving, hold my hand, overstand this too can be your kingdom blessed. And when the rain comes, put your hands in the dirt, Baba, this is where you came from. 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 System's broken, no fucks given. What the people living out their backs to the broken. Dreams of America. Dreams of America. Need a pipe carrier. Let me smudge you off so the vision can get clearer. Your mother's crying, boy, can you hear her? What I see in you, a young tree bearing fruit, place to start. Oh, don't hide behind your heart. You gotta put down the weight Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. You gotta get out of your way. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. You gotta put down the weight. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. You gotta get out of your way. Dear lover, you can find me on the front lines covered in the blood and tears of another brother, sister, mother. Revolution beyond broadcast on Facebook and Twitter. There's a noise. I can hear it when the megaphone roars. Wipe the tears from this tear gas choice. You have a choice. Stand in front of your fear, baby, time to find your voice. It's a story, a love story you can believe in. Death, birth, your life's worth, it's trending. Story, a love story. How vain are we to expect a happy ending? I got my hands up. Follow directions, still they shoot us. I'm fucking sick and tired of no justice, no peace. Promise me you'll never pick your body off the streets. We're all taking heat here. Oh, the trust is broken, I don't get these police. Disenfranchised, step into a new life. Baby, if you listen to the wind, there's a war cry. Peace in America. Peace in America. Be decent, America. I'm begging you. What I see in you, a young tree bearing fruit, place to start. Oh, don't hide behind your heart. You gotta put down the weight. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. You gotta get out of your way. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. You gotta put down the weight. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. You gotta get out of your way. That's how some of those start, though. You hear that little like, do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh my God, that could be a cool song. He's so weird, that guy. I know, right?
When you know, man, like, people always ask me, like, what would you do different if you could go back in time and you talk to your younger self? You know?
They ask Cher the same thing.
they ask everybody that, right? What would you do? And like, the only fucking thing would be to do exactly what you said in your song and just trust a little bit more, get out of your way a little bit more, like enjoy a little bit more, smile a little bit more. It's all gonna be weird and challenging and strange.
Play more.
Play more, man.
I always forget to play.
What the
I'm like,
fuck?
I'm so serious. You guys are like, yeah, right. This guy, serious?
And that's you. And then there's degrees of all of us who are so fucking more serious. But that's not a game of who's more serious or not. But nonetheless, like, enjoy it. What the fuck? Like, that's the only thing that I would tell my younger self. Like, man, just fucking smile more, man. Like, play more. Enjoy this shit more. Or in relationships and everything, just fucking enjoy it. When I was building my company up, I was just terrified that it was going to fail. And when you're in a relationship, you're terrified that it's going to end, or terrified that they're not going to love you, terrified of this, terrified you're not going to perform well. Like, all this fear, when you could just put it out of the way and just like enjoy it while it's here, because it's all sliding back to that place where we came from. Also in the song, like, put your hands in the dirt, know that's where you're headed. That's the destination. What do you want to do between now and then? Take yourself real fucking seriously and stress all the whole way till you become dirt? Great fucking plan. Super plan. Let's fucking stress till we're dirt. Or not. Or fucking not. Right? But for you, man, like, you seem like someone who knows how to play, like, who knows how to feel the rainbows when they hit, not just see them, but like, but like feel the joy medicine that's around. But you have to have your own dark times where you lose perspective.
Fuck yeah.
like those moments where you're just like, what the fuck? Like, maybe I even want to hit the reset button. Like, I don't know. I mean, I know I'm going on to a place of eternity anyways. Like, well, what am I even fucking here for? Like, how do you deal with those, your own dark moments, your own times when you're like, fuck, I forgot how to play. I forgot this is good.
Dude, I didn't think I was gonna make 33. And here I am.
Here you are.
Yeah, holy shit. I feel like I'm just coming out of one of those, you know?
Yeah.
It was like that whole Saturn return shit was just like smack on the ground on my face, like weeping, like why me? But, you know, it's a survivor's journey too, you know? It started out really shitty, but I didn't really know all that until later. And I kind of put everything, once the songs started coming through, I used the songs to, yes, process my pain and my trauma, but also as a shield too, where I could say, here's something I feel. And then people would listen to me and they'd be like, you know, then they would have their own experiences and they'd have their own transformations through the songs. And at first when I started putting songs out, people would be like, oh my God, it changed my life. I was like, fuck all y'all. That's my story. you know. And then slowly I started, you know, shifting into going like, oh, this is like my offering to you. Like, yes, it comes through, and then like I get to work with it, and then it's not mine anymore, you know. And that was a hard one in my mid to late 20s, like really adjusting to that because it was so personal for me. And yes, I loved performing, but it was also like it was a very selfish experience for me in the beginning. And now, as I've come out of, as I'm exiting this darker period of my life of just witnessing my own shadows that have been suppressed for so long, and understanding how I suppressed them, because I didn't know I was suppressing them, you know. And then you're projectile vomiting it all up, you know, and you're like, oh, it was all these different colors. And it was sort of like compartmentalized. I kind of shelved it all in these different parts of my body. And it's scary when you really look at yourself like that and you go, wow. And then you carry all this guilt and you say, I don't want to be like my mom. I don't want to be like my dad. I don't want to be like my ancestors where I have to stop here, you know. And I've just recently, within the last 6 months of my life, come to terms with how I did deal with it, because the anxiety was very real over the period of hitting the road as a commitment, a real commitment. You know, the first 3 years was like raging bear, like partied my ass off. And just didn't give a fuck about anybody else except for myself. I was just like, here's my songs, fuck everybody. Love ya. Later. Quadruple Aquarius. Oh my God. No Earth in my chart at all. Sit down. No, you can't make me. And he's weird. You know, and then I think really making that commitment to going deeper into the works of what I've spoken about. Life came, as it does always, and for me, comes and just says, I'm going to take everything away from you and leave you with this one thing that you're going to be like, there's a thread here that I have to follow, and nothing in my life has sort of seemed normal or regular, and as I looked at the anxiety of the pressure I have felt from the songs to do it right, as well as unexpectedly becoming so well known in this way, and having to be somebody for everybody, And for so long, I'd just be like, I'm cool. You know, I'd hug all these people, and I'd be like, oh, it's cool. It's all good. Your vibe does not affect me. I'm all good. You fucked up. You know? I'd be like, I'm fine. I wrote a song about it. Did you listen to it? What an asshole I was. It was like, oh my God. That's what my next record's called. I was an asshole. Some people say I'm still am. Anyway, as I was saying, the anxiety was real. I'm like having a conversation over here by myself. I'm like, oh my God. I started drinking a lot. Like, and professionally, you know? I was a pro, you know? I was like functionally drunk, you know? And I wore it really well. And I didn't want people to like, I'd go out on stage and I was like, I can't fucking show them my face really because like this face is sad. This face is going through so much shit. And I know you want me to be happy right now, you know? And so I'm going to offer you my songs, but I'm going to have a shot before I get up in front of you guys because then I'm way more fun. Yeah, that voice keeps coming in. So many characters with me. Yeah, and it was probably in October when I started realizing that like I'd never taken like a conscious moment to like be sober. Because coming where I came from, I had to take everything for myself. And so once I left home, it was like whatever I could get my hands on, I was like ingesting it, you know, or bathing in it, you know. It's just like splish splash, you know. Anyway, you did that, I know.
I did that.
I know. I saw the picture.
That.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like that Facebook memory. Yeah, so I'm actually just 3 months sober now, and I'm happy to be making my record right now in sobriety in this way, and have been counseling with my mom. My mom and I are going through this really deep counseling, and it's been like 12 years coming. And through all of it, the action of slowing down and allowing that clarity medicine to come in and really allow that deep healing to happen. I forget what we're talking about, but
yeah,
end quote.
It's the process, man. Yeah. The process of, especially, you know, for you, it happens to say I don't write songs, right? But I'll write a newsletter, I'll write something, I'll put something out, right? I'll write poetry. And I'll go back and I'll read something I wrote and go like, oh, fuck. Like I knew that at some point, and then I forgot that again, and then I'm reminding myself of it again. But I was always holding myself accountable to this idea of what I thought I wanted to be or what I thought I could be or what I was potentially capable of temporarily being, but the anxiety of not being that and the shame of not being that was ultimately laying on me like a suffocating blanket the whole time because I wasn't always there. Even though I was able to touch it and write a poem about it and write a newsletter about it and share it, I'm back again in the same shit. And then that's when that hopelessness of depression can come in and it's like, fuck, am I actually even learning? Or because I can go back and read a newsletter or something from 3 years ago and be like, well, I knew it then, and I guess, and I'm still learling it now.
Oh, dude, I actually now in this last like 6 months actually think that I kind of know what I'm doing now, like a little bit. I'm like, oh, interesting,
Right,
fun.
and we all have to like trust that the learning process is a weird, spirally, up and down, volatile, more than a stock chart that you've ever seen from hell, up and down, heaven and hell, suffering and bliss and backwards and forwards, but it's all learning in the weird, spirally way that we all have to learn, and to release those expectations and release those grievances, release those shoulds, stop shoulding on all of us and stop shoulding on other people, and just recognizing that, fuck, all right, learn and do your best. Like continue, learn and do your best and play while you can. Because like these things that we try to hold ourselves to can be the prisons that we create for ourselves, because we're not the same self every single fucking day. We're not the divine explosion of our best version of us all the time. But we think that we should be, because once we know that it's possible, we think like, oh yeah, I got to be that. I got to be that happy guy. I got to be that. I got to be this guy. I got to be this girl. I got to be this thing. But that's not how it fucking works. Not on the path of growth, you know. Sometimes it's going to be, you're going to be so small you could fit inside a fucking shoe, and maybe inside the little Monopoly thimble inside the shoe.
I'm already that small.
And sometimes you're going to be as expansive as the sun itself, you know, and like, and all the stages in between, like that is who we are and what we came to learn. And to me, it's just about, can I stay a little bit more grounded in the truth of who I am through this process? Just find my way back a little bit quicker. Just find my way to love, to be love, like a little bit faster. Not try to, but just like let your shoulders down, like let the stress out. Like everybody here doing this, if you're listening at home, just like let the stress out of everything, even your face.
Face is a big one. I'm always just like, whoa, I'm like stressed out up in here.
Holding shit in your face. Oh. That's what we're trying. Look at all of us trying. We're all trying, yeah.
Yeah,
trying.
we all actually like rolled in and we were just like authentically ourselves. Some people were like, I'm great. Other people were like, I'm so fucked up right now. I don't even want to be here, but I'm here. Aubrey said I should be here.
But then if you do get to like surrender to who you are, then you get resonance.
Yeah.
Then actually truth becomes the chord that makes everything in harmony. It's the resistance that gets everything all fucking discordant. The resistance to all these things. You just fucking relax. Sometimes it's going to be a big laugh. Because it's generally when you're that relaxed, a laugh is just a fucking tiny bit away when you surrender. But when you're in resistance, the laughter is going to be hard to find. You're going to have to hunt that. You're going to find that at the very last drop of your second bottle of wine, you might find that laugh. But if you surrender the resistance, well, then you might find it a little sooner. Mm-hmm. Laugh at yourself, laugh at the world, laugh at everything, and smile a little bit and understand, like, fuck, yeah, all right. That's what we're here for. Mm-hmm. But like the surrendering to who we are and surrendering the resistance to what we think we should be, and all those expectations, that's the path. Mm-hmm. As far as I can see it, and I don't know shit, because I keep fucking going down strange, dark alleys that I've been before.
Yeah, we know.
But like it's all about just being out of resistance to it, man. Let go.
Lifelong practice. Segues.
So there I was, up there on old Lake Superior, where me and my old dog used to go, old Coda Bear. Up there on that 14-mile long island called Madeline Island. The old stomping grounds of the Anishinaabe, the Ojibwe people. And there I was, with my dog's ashes, about to spread them around. And I was with this beloved of mine, and I said, let's trip balls, babe. So there we were, in a sacred way, sitting with that sacred medicine, staring at the horizon. This is not a country song, but it's a country song. And on the horizon was a long, dark gray cloud. And above us, blue sky. Imagine. And then it happened. A double rainbow appeared. And I shit you not, I said to her, babe, it's a double rainbow. And as I said it, it was as if it was like straight in front of us and it went like this and it was like landed on top of us and I said, boo, it's like we're on the other side of a rainbow bridge. She was like, yeah. I was like, whatever, okay. And then she's like, dude. I was like, what? What's it say? This is her voice. What's it say? She's changed a lot now. She's like, what's it say on that little bag that you... Little baggie. What's it say on the bag? It was a velvet bag. It was a nice bag. What's it say on the bag that your dog's ashes are in? And I looked at it and it said, I'll meet you on the other side of the rainbow bridge. And I was like, single tear, Tupac in the sky all day. That was my dog right there in the sky. And then I wrote a song about it. But it was a collection, too, of just travels. And learning to be alone again. Without your partners, without your friends, without your animals. Just you and the double rainbow. Time to pull out my paints. Brand new canvas, get things straight. There are no lines here. Double rainbows make Great Lakes. Coda spoke on a Bay. She is a key bear. Let her open everywhere. I see stress. Wonder why we got lunatics. Well, it won't be sweet love, 'cause it's my lesson, it's my teacher, Malcolm X or Martin Luther, and I am neither. Perfect world, what is this? Does it even exist? And would I live there if I can learn to be alone? I will always have a home. Give it all you got. Give it all you got. All you've gained and all you've lost. And that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Know the road like Dharma bums from the Catskills towards San Juan with just an atlas. Well, it was magic. Thank you, Paul, for those directions. Oh, the bridge or Indian Ocean. Those troubled waters, no longer silenced in the dreaming Uluru. I heard Brumby singing to me and casting lines to Palestine and Aotearoa, my Warua. It's nice to know a life like that. From the mountain to the rock, there are moments I got lost. Denominators, so fuck the haters. Park high down Ecuador, standing room on the jungle floor. Can't take our language, can't drink the oil. Lost a baby, lost a friend. Some days my family's lost again. To the trauma, to the war, that's how I learned to be alone. Coming from a broken home, that's how I learned to be alone. Coming from a broken home, give me all you got. Give me all you got. We'll make stories, we'll make love. And that's enough. Yeah, that's enough. Da 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 da. Dun 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 da da da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
I, I knew you fuck with that rainbow medicine.
Hell
I was telling you that earlier. One of the things that strikes me from that is this feeling of being alone, and like the perspective again that comes from that. Like, there's a lot of times I felt really alone, and then I can burst out of that delusional bubble and realize, like, oh, it's not actually possible to be alone. Not really possible, because we're all part of God.
We're always surrounded.
We're always surrounded. Oh, I'm so alone. I'm so lonely. What? Like what? What do you mean? It's not possible. And that's that perspective thing. But I'm sure you felt it. I mean, you felt times of deep loneliness, but it's not real. Not really. And we can go find that and feel that in the connection with anybody or a stranger, or it could be a lover, a friend, or it could just be nature, or it could just be ourselves, but like opening ourselves up to that, we gotta learn that piece of perspective, because then no matter what's happened, you're going through a breakthrough, you're super lonely, like, yeah, it's hard, I get it, it's fucking hard, but you're not alone, you're not lonely. Whatever you're going through, somebody else is going through that too.
It's a real place, but you don't have to stay there.
Truth. But it's only a real place, kind of. Because what is real is always real. What is true is always true. That's not always true. Like, you're not actually fully alone. You're always going to be connected to those old lovers, new lovers, current lovers, old friends, new friends, family, your future family, the earth itself, the dust that made you and the dust that you'll become. You're fucking connected to the water that you drink, that's connected to all the water that's inside every other person. We're not really alone, but we pretend that we're alone, and we try to isolate ourselves and protect ourselves like we think we need to be alone and we need to guard ourselves. And in some regards we do. On some levels, that's truth, right? But on some levels, it's not. And like, without perspective, fuck, man, it's hard. Because then the loneliness is bone shaking until we realize that we're not alone. So like, there's this thing, it's a term, it's called toggling. And it's like, it's used to describe toggling from like the truth, which is that we're all connected to source, all different facets of that infinite diamond. And then the perception of where we're at, where we can feel super fucking lonely. Like, how do you deal with, in your life, in your experience, that toggle between when you know the truth, to know that all you have to do is walk outside, see your horses, and know that you're not alone. But then sometimes where you're just sitting in your room, sitting in your house, and you feel lonely as fuck. Like, how do you try to, do you just surrender to each experience, or do you try to modulate that? Do you try to set the intention to cultivate that feeling of connection with all things? Like, how do you deal with that toggle?
Well, sometimes, I'll write about it.
Yeah.
But I guess lately I just kick it with my ponies.
Yeah.
I know, maybe there's people like, oh, what's he going to say? It's going to be really deep. No, I mean, that is deep for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Medicine for me in those moments is like, is being outside in nature by water generally. And then it's with my horses. At this time in my life, like, that's like the place that I go to.
Right.
Because I'm caring for something, I'm like,
Yeah.
caring for them, and they give me this mana, but it's difficult to, well, and for me, it's like, I like being by myself. I like being alone in that sense. And, because I spend most of my life with everybody, that I go play for. So I'm always like, oh, there's everybody, great. So when I get to be alone and spend time by myself, I'm in a constant state of like development and saturation of whatever it is that's in front of me. And I guess I'm also in a constant state of slowing things down too, to understand how I'm actually feeling and where that comes from, because it's not a sad place necessarily. It's more of a tilling situation that's happening. Like, oh, cool, I feel a certain way. I'm going to start.
Yeah.
Gardening.
You got to be curious about those feelings too. You got to like look in and be like, oh, okay, where's this coming from? What's going on? And I think that curiosity, rather than the judgment, and rather than the reaction or the aversion, which is like not looking at it, cracking your eyes open just a little bit, like, I only want to look at this a little bit, but looking at it wide open, wide-eyed, and just be like being curious and figuring it out. And then figuring out where all of us should figure out where our fucking My Little Pony garden magic place is, like what is that place for us? Where's the place where we know that we're never alone? And sometimes, like, I got a place in Sedona, big old mountain out in my backyard, right? Like, I can look at the mountain and it's a rock, big one, but I know that I'm not alone as long as that rock's there, and it's not even a life for it. And we have horses there too, and those are great as well. But like, you can make your place where you find connection and don't feel alone. You can make that with everything. You can cultivate that with a little altar in your house. You can cultivate that with a little walk that you go on, a little walking meditation where you go around. I mean, we do that at our office, right? There's just little stretches of grass. And sometimes it's a stretch of grass between parked cars. And sometimes it's just a straight pathway of heaven and presence. It's just a matter of your perspective. If you take your shoes off and you actually feel the grass on your feet and you actually breathe the air that's coming in and you actually find it. So it's like finding those special places and then knowing that you can kind of make any place special too. And that way you don't have to only meditate when you got your favorite songs on and your favorite incense burning and all the perfect conditions, like, oh, now I can meditate. Or you can meditate in the fucking parking lot. Like, you can. You can take those 6 deep breaths. You can find your state of presence, but know where your magic, like, medicine places are, but also know that any place can be your magic medicine place. Yeah. And that, I think to live, like, as I look forward to like the rest of my life, like, I really realize I used to set a lot of goals, write a lot of goals. All kinds of goals written out, things I wanted to accomplish, things I wanted to do. And then I realized, it came to me that, oh no, I just want to be the one who enjoyed the second half of his life the most.
Hey.
Like, that's a fucking good goal. Let's put that at the top of the list. I'm going to be the one that enjoyed the second half of my life the most. I'm not comparing that to other people, but just the most that I was possibly capable of enjoying it. Okay, that's a good one. How about instead of looking for love and searching for it and trying to find it, how about just being it and receiving it as much as you can, always. Just being in that state of co-resonance with that emotion. And you'll find it everywhere. It's fucking all over the place. You fall in love like this with everybody and everything. Because you're there, you're already in love, right? Like, you can do that, man. Then that moment of like, Hoka, hey, today is a good day to die. Like, it'll be okay. If that guardrail came and instead of taking this little piece of my neck, it took the whole part of my throat. Well, if I was the one who was enjoying his life the most and opened myself to love the most, and that guardrail came and did that, okay, it'd be a fine day. But if I haven't got there yet, I haven't lived that way yet. Not yet. Not yet, Source. Don't take me yet. So I want to feel that first. I want to fucking feel it. I want to feel it in this body with these people around me, at this earth, at this time. I want to feel that first. So let's do it now. Let's not wait, because we don't know when. We don't know when it's going to be. But let's feel it first. And then no matter what, we can wake up and look out at the sky or look at our lover or look at whoever. Be like, all right, today is a good day to die. Hey, yo.
It's been a long time coming round and smoothing out the edges and slowing down and listening. What is important? What is your focus? Don't you go and stumble now. Are you listening? Horse tail, we can heal it all with plant medicine. Body, mind, and spirit crying slow down, slow down, slow down. La da 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 making a broth for a feverish head. Now I'm no stranger to loneliness. Are you struggling? Sweeter than lavender years in the making. Drink it up, it's your nature. But I'm struggling, coping with all of it. To hell with enlightenment. Clearly I am no good at this. Who's even listening? Take it all on like you know what you're doing. Try not to lose yourself out there. Are you listening? Horse tail, we can heal it all with plant medicine. Body, mind, and spirit crying slow down, slow down, slow down. La da 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 da.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want everybody to go through something here with me. So everybody close your eyes. And those of you listening in your car, if you're driving, don't close your eyes. But I want you to imagine yourself. Imagine yourself as the one who's enjoying the next phase of their life the most. See that person, see yourself as that person enjoying their life the most. And I imagine you're not going to be seeing a bunch of things around you. It's not going to be like boats and champagne bottles. Probably not going to be that. And if it is, okay, maybe you need to do a little bit of that until you can really figure out what you are enjoying yourself the most, because it's probably going to be you with a big smile and a big laugh and other people around you with big smiles and big laughs, playing with your kids, with people around you. Like, that's you. That's your potential. That's what we're really here for. All this other stuff is fun. Yeah, play the games. Play chess if you want to play chess. Do all the things you want to do. But be that one. Be love. Be play. Be fun. And let that be your legacy. Like, we talk about legacy. Oh yeah, legacy. Oh yeah, I'm going to create these fucking castles made of stone. How about the legacy of being love? You want another legacy? Okay, you want castles? You want sand castles? You want rock castle? Oh, okay, good, great. You pop the most champagne bottles in the club. Great, good job. Or you could be love. So everybody, let's say this together. Repeat after me. I have come as love.
I have come as love.
I am love.
I am love.
I have come as love.
I have come as love.
I am love. I have come as love. I am love. Oh man, does that take some pressure off or what? Fuck. Let that take the pressure off a little bit. Like, you do that, you win, man. You fucking win. You win. You fucking did it. You shot the moon. You love. Oh, okay, yeah. You want to have this many followers, whatever. Okay, great. Good job. But could you be love? There's nothing better, nothing more important. And all of us have that capability. All of us can be that. And the more of us that can be that, the more permission we give to everybody else to be that. And then when we're all that, then we're all in resonance with love, with the earth as love, and with the whole universe as love. And then the whole fucking thing shifts. Well, I think that's probably the best intention that we can set. That's the best goal that we can put at the top of our fucking page. I don't know. You got one better, Nahko? I don't have one.
Always give what you can, even if your allies draw lines in the sand, and dig. Always dig a little deeper. Sometimes it's hard to be my brother's keeper. Love, so you let love in. Baby, I am home in the wake of your skin, and it's crazy how we wear our ceremony. Always be open to your path and your journey. Yes, she cradles my loneliness, a home that I forage and rest. Universal test, feel the weight of my love. Put your hand on my chest and rest. In the cradle of my arms, the battle that we face is the place where our scars come from. And to pick up the gun, my love, we are destined to teach these ones to be brave and never run away. Courage is birthed from the womb on the first light of day. Yeah, the day you were born, you came out perfect, never meant to be torn in silence. Never been so loud in the violence, never been so proud of a people. When we're fighting for a change, not afraid to lose it all, despite all the rage. We are animals, and we cannot be caged. Provoke us to fight, so we burn a little sage and write poetry. Wiser than the enemy will ever be, the minority and authority. Are you here to protect or arrest me? I can't tolerate their hate and I'm losing sleep. Can't breathe cause they're choking out the war in me. Immorality, yeah. Love letters to God. I wonder if she's there or if they get lost in the stars. Stars in the stars. So many parts to a heavy heart. If there's no beginning, then where would you start? Start, where would you start? Human souls, so we carve them into story totem pose, 'cause we're always searching for a certain goal. The pattern of physics are all. Don't believe all you're told and open up your fist. A misconception you can fight like this and praise. With the power of prayer, if God's on our side, you can take the stairs to the heavens. Flipping through my chapter 7, I live with the snakes and the great deception. No court in this country for men who steal from the mother on paper with pen, and we're tripping down the red dirt road and we're asking, is this the way we should go? Kissing soft top feet of my goddess, we walk the earth, baby, yeah, we got this focus. And it's redirected, grateful, and I'm resurrected, stubborn. But I know the way, you're the skin on my drum, to your rhythm I will sway. Take my hand, I won't lead you astray. We will not go gently into the darkest of days. Grandma's here, and she says persevere. Take a walk in her mocks, and the trail of tears. And our fears are the same as they ever were beers. Numb the pain of a Holocaust years. Always mobbing in motion. Maybe be an island or an ocean. Your arches, how they bend and contract on my conscience. Never slip through the grip of my thesis. And my theory is I shine in your presence. A deliverance, yeah. Love letters to God. I wonder if she's there or if they get lost in the stars. Stars in the stars. So many parts to a heavy heart. If there's no beginning, then where would you start? Start, where would you start? Moon, river, wider than a mile. I'm crossing you in style someday. You old dream maker, you heart breaker. Wherever you're going, I'm going your way. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. We're after the same rainbows and waiting on a bend, my huckleberry friend. moon, river, and me.
Thank you, my brother, for your music, for your medicine, for your shadow, for your light, for your play, for all of it, brother. It's an honor to walk
Thank you
this
for
path.
having me.
Yeah, thanks everybody for being here. I love you all so much. Let's all get up and give somebody a big hug. And obviously, everybody listening, if you can't tell, get all of Nahko's music. It's fucking incredible. So, and I love you guys. I love everyone. Thank you, brother.